This is Irontrader, and this is the last call of the day here. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. We'll got indexes here today. It looks like they're coming off really high, but this is all to do with the tariff situation. Now, the tariff situation is going to be here on July 9th. They're extending some tariffs there till August 1st. And then you're talking about some people are going to get 10%, some are going to get 25%. All you're doing is messing with the markets here. But just like I tell you, these markets for the last 3-4 weeks here, these markets are very, very top heavy. Okay, you're melting up. Eventually, that is going to come off here. It looks like we're going to maybe start the process today. We got to see how this all shakes out. Okay, so just be very, very patient. And trading is the market, not buy and hold at this time. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not recommendation to buy something stock by the ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly chart. Now you can see here, if we look at the pattern, we have left shoulder, head, the right shoulder, and it's still very, very much intact. You can come down to the 21-day, you can come all the way down to the 50-day, and it's still going to be very, very much intact. Now, if we start losing that 50-day and we come down here, well, that negates the pattern, okay? But right now here, what we're doing, let's see if we can close back above here, above that 108.346. If not, here's what your next resistance or support level is going to be. Is going to be that 106.970. We lose that, and we're going to come right to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 105.440, and then we have 104.331. That is your 50 SMA here. Now, again, we start losing that. You can come down here at 103.850 level. We come down to the bottom of this candle right here. You're looking at 102.425. And then what we can do is we come down to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 108.15. Then we have your big retest down there at 99. Again, I like to show you where it could possibly go, but right now this is still looking very, very bullish chart, okay? So upside here, we have to get right back above this 8-day. That's at 108.351. Then we can go to today's high, 110.265. Look at the top of this candle, 110.455. And then we have that retest up here at 111.220 level, okay? Now, we're looking for this level right here. This was going to be key on the upside, 110.890. You can see where we popped above it, but you notice that it couldn't close above it. And that's the key. And then today we have the red candle, okay? Now, if we can get above that, then 112.345 is your target. Above that, you got 113. Then I think you're going to rock it all up to 115, 116 level, okay? But right now here, what we just want to watch is this 8-day here on the upside and that 21-day on the downside to see if we can hold that. If not, we come down to this level and possibly down to that 50 SMA here. Now you're looking at 53. That could go either way. Your green is still over your red, but we're at the bottom of it. So just got to be really, really patient here. It's all about that tariff situation that's going on right now, okay? So on a weekly basis here by Friday, we want to make sure that we hold this 8-day. That's going to be key, 106.788. If not, we're going to come right down to this bottom, this level here. That's that 102 level. We come down here to that 99 level. And you can come all the way down to that 96 level, that 21 SMA here. But let's just see how this all going to shake out here, okay? So right now here, we just got this a sideways action. You got a very, very strong commodity going here. Your green over your red. Still looking very, very bullish, okay? So you can see where we had this high for a week, a lower high, a lower high. Now that's negated, and now we're above that. So we broke that downtrend situation. So actually, this is looking very, very good. Let's just see how this all shakes out. So just be a little bit patient. I traded IBIT, BITX is what I'm looking here to buy. That's what I'm looking here to do. I'm not really looking to short it right now because I think you could get a reversal any day. Could be turnaround Tuesday, tomorrow. But let's just see how this all shakes out here. So just be a very, very patient. But I think in the long run, you're going to crack that and you can go to that 115, 116 area, if not higher. Okay, let's take a look here at gold and silvers. All right, here we have gold. Here we have silver. Let me bigger up a little bit there for you. Okay. Let's just see what we got here. Now, I still have a really good, nice uptrending chart. See, I have low, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low situation, okay? So actually, gold here is still looking pretty good. We're just kind of hanging out. Now, you can see here how it came down, made a lower low, but where did it go, okay? Right back above that 333 level. And let's see, that 8-day is at 33.35 level. See, you're right back above it again, okay? So right there, what I'm looking for here is we can get it back above this 33.63. Then I would take a long in GLD. And I think my upside target, yeah, we have resistance, follow the candles up. But realistically, you're going to retest that 34.76. And then we have to see what the reaction is once you get there. Does it break through and aim for that 35.09? Or does it just double top and come right on down? But right now here, this is still looking pretty good. And you're really kind of like a building. There's your left shoulder, there's your head, and the right shoulder here. So really having like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. This is still looking very, very bullish, okay? Now your green is below your red here on your MACD. but we got a sideways action, and we're at the bottom here, okay? We're not at the top situation, okay? You're only sitting at 49, so just be a little bit patient. We get some kind of a situation going here with all the tariffs and the countries and all this and all that. Gold could have a really nice, good rally, but really on the upside, just watch that 21 day. You get a close above it. I would get in. That's what I'm going to be doing, and then head for that 34.76 level. Now, on the downside, you want to watch that 33.35 and that 50.33.33. If we lose that, you're going to come down to today's low. That's that 33.04 level, okay? Then we come down to the bottom of this candle here, 32.66, and then you retest down there at 32.50 and even possibly 31.91 level. Let's just see how it shakes out. Be very, very patient. Now, silver, well, this is the same thing. Now, silver had a really good pop and made actually a higher high. We were watching this 37.40 and it got to 37.43 level, but you notice that it couldn't close above today, so far, I should say, okay? Now, you came on down, and what did we do? We held that 21 day again. Just because you go below it a little bit, that don't mean nothing. Where do you close that? That's the key. Now we're back above that 8 day and that 21 day, looking very, very good. We just have this nice, good uptrend going. So watch that 37.43 on the upside. You crack that, it's going to be 38, and you're going to head right to that 40 level. Okay, and she's going to be looking pretty nice, okay? Downside, just watch that 8 day, very, very key, 36.56, and that 21 day at 36.44. You lose it, we come here, 36.05 level, we'll come down here at 35.58, we'll come down to the bottom of this candle here, 35.19, and we look to the top there at 34.94, and then we look for that 50 day. Then you can look at 100 day, and we look at it for 200 day. But right now, we have a nice uptrending chart, and it looks like we possibly might be able to break out of this if we can close above this now 37.43 level, okay? So you're only sitting at 60, plenty of room to the upside. Green is below your red here, but we got a good sideways action, and that can turn up very, very easy, and we have an uptrending chart here. So we close above this 37.43, and then I'm going to jump in that SLV, and I'll take it to the long side. Now, I don't short silver or gold, okay? I'm not really a gold or silver trader, but I do like the GLD and I do like the SLV. So once we start breaking up and go above this key resistance levels and above this key resistance level, I jump in. I'm going to take that bad boy higher. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude and Natgas. Okay, here we have crude oil. Okay, now you can see here how crude oil is actually moving up here. So this is my point I want to make here today. Okay, OPEC had their meeting and it lasted like 10 minutes, I guess. It was like a on-screen meeting, okay? It wasn't even in person. And now they're going to add, instead of 411,000 barrels a day, in August they're going to kick that up to 548,000 barrels a day. But see, that's the news. Now you think, oh, after I hear that news, crude is going to sell right off. Well, not necessarily. It's always what is the reaction to that news. And this is the reaction, which we're going up higher, okay? We had this bear flag situation, then it just kind of ran out and it didn't pan out. And we ran up here to that 21 day, ran up here to the 21 day. Now look at here, we came down and so far we held that key 100 day at 65.56 and we're holding this 8 day. And now we're back above that 21 day at 67.71. And where are we locked into? Right there, 68.46. That's your upside. This is why you trade the charts, okay? Take all the noise out of it, okay? Just because you say, oh, they're adding oil's going to come down, not necessarily. That's why you trade the charts. Takes all the emotion out of the old trade. Now, we can get above 68.46. Then here's going to be your next target. Is going to be 69.29, okay? This is the top of that candle. Then we'll look to the bottom here. You're looking at 68 to 69.39, 38, and then we look at 69.56 level. Then we're going to come up to the bottom here. You can look at 71.33. We'll come up here. You're looking at 72.32, and then we just follow the candles. 73.90. We have 74.27. We come up here at 75.74 level. We'll come up top of this candle, 77.49, and then 78.40. That is going to be your retest, but you have to close above that 200 day to do that, okay? So let's see how that all shakes out. Now, downside, watch that 21 day, 67.70. We want to watch the 8 day at 66.08, and that old Hondo here at 65.56. We lose that. Right here's your target at 63.90, and then bring your price channel at 62.50, which is basically just the bottom of that candle, okay? So let's just see how this all shakes out. We got the summer driving going on here now, and we'll see what the EI report and the API report will be this week. And then, as I say, that should look here pretty good. But right now here, this is why you trade the charts, okay? You don't just listen to the news. Okay, Natgas. Well, Natgas here You can see here, we made a lower low, came all the way down to 327. The low that we're looking for was 329, okay? Now we're back above here, went right up into the 200-day, and then where did it go? Right into that 8-day. Look at that, huh? You believe that shit? Look at that, right into it, okay? That's why you trade the charts, okay? 3.48, went right into it. Now, next level here, if it gets above it, is 352, and then we have so easy here, 361, and then 370, which is your 100 SMA here. So everything is nice and above, but now you can see where we popped up, and now we're sitting right at that 200-day at that 340 level, okay? Now, downside what you're watching is, obviously, we're going to be watching today's low, 327 level, okay? Now, we lose that, you can come right to the bottom here, looking at 321 level. Then we do is we'll come down to the bottom here, looking at 310. Then we come over here, 305. There's your gap, 298 your fill, and then we look to the bottom there at 286 level, okay? But right now here, we still have a nice uptrending chart. See, low, higher low, higher low, higher low situation, okay? So you just step back and you look at it and you say, see, look how nice uptrending that chart is. Even though it doesn't, you say, wow, this is nasty because we had this topping tail. But again, we're holding this level. So let's just see how this all shakes out here, okay? But again, trade them charts because once we got over the 200-day, then you got to go right into the 8-day. Now, I scalped the UNG there today. It was really a good trade. It got as low as 1486 and high as 1538. I wasn't looking for much. I got 30 cents out of it. I'm trading 5,000 shares, and that was a good day here just in trading into Natgas, okay? So that worked out pretty good. Okay, so again, watch that 8-day, 50-day, 21-day. Just take level to level to level. That's how you make the money. Now, you're only sitting here at 44. That could go up here. The green is still below your red because we have that downtrending situation, but let's just see how this all shakes out. But the downside, watch this key level here, this 329, 327 level. We lose that. We could come down to that gap and that fill very, very easily. Okay, let's take a look here at the indexes. All right, here we have the Dow, the S&P, and the old Nasdaq, okay? Now, as I say, I've been telling you here for weeks, we got this melt up going on here. And I'm not saying the melt up can't continue. This one day does not make a market. Always remember that, okay? So we had this big melt up here going all the way and up here. We gapped up and just kept right on going. But a lot of times that just doesn't last, okay? Now you take some news here with this tariff situation. This could come off hard. But let's just see what turnaround Tuesday brings us. We might be able to turn this bad boy around and go right on up if we can get some negotiations here before the 9th. Now, if everybody sticks together and they say, nah, screw it, we're going to take the tariffs and then we're going to see what happens, you can get yourself in a pretty good sticky wicket here if they call this bluff, okay? So let's just see how this all shakes out here. Now, again, if they can make a deal on these, well, then the market could reverse and go right back up here. This is just a one-day sell-off, okay? So on the downside here, I say just watch that key 8 SMA right there. We lose that here, then you want to come to the top of that candle at that 43.115 level. But right there, that's what you're looking for is that 43.18. Then we have this gap. See this gap right here, 42.794, and then we have that fill at 42.609. Gap and fill, that would be right in line here with the 200-day, and then we have your 50-day underneath it, okay? So just remember, one day does not make it a yield market. Now, we got to an overbought condition, and now we're coming right off here. Depends on how far this correction was going to go. But we got the same thing on every chart here, overbought, and then she's coming down. Now, here we look at the old S&P level here, okay? So now we're coming there. Just watch that 8-day. That's going to be very, very key. Watch that 21-day. Then we also have the gap and the fill here, okay? 6059, right there's your gap, 6028, there's your fill, gap and fill. If we start losing that 8-day and that 21-day, you come all the way down to the 50 SMA here, okay? Now, we look at the old NASDAQ, same thing. We're watching that 8-day, okay? But we also have this gap here. Just watch that 19,795, and then watch that fill, 19,643. Gap, fill. We have this 21-day, though. So if you lose the 8, 21-day, look to the gap to fill, and then possibly all the way down to the 50-day. But we got to see how this all shakes out here. But remember, when the big boys decide they're going to sell, these little traders here aren't going to make a whole lot of difference here because they're trying to jump into FOMO, and this is where you buy, is here, okay? When the VIX is at 60, okay? When the VIX is at 60, when the VIX is at 60. Not when you're sitting way up here, okay? The VIX is sitting at, what is it sitting at? It's sitting at 18. Okay, you're sitting at 18 level here now. So this is not where you want to be buying on these melt-up situations, okay? So this is a trader's market. So let's just see what happens tomorrow. If we hold this 8-day, hold that 8-day, hold that 8-day. We could probably take a nice good trade going back up again. So just watch all these highs, 20,624, 62.84, and then we're going to look right up here at that 44.885. So watch all those highs. That's on the upside. If we have some kind of a deals, you could break through that. But man, when I see charts like this here, I just look at risk reward. I don't see it. Okay, this is a trader's market for me. I'm in and out. Money's in my pocket. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.